Hi guys, it's Darlene from Couture. Saturday evening, and I am just taping a tutorial since I will be busy tomorrow. So we're going to do this fun project, Born to Stand Out. This is a flamingo and this is a layered project. So this is a size B transfer. I've cut it apart on the lines. You will see that there are lines when you pull this out of your plastic sleeve that these come in. And I fold the corners under to make it easier to remove from the backer sheet. On the back I have put an X because you are not going to put this back on that side. You're going to put it onto the shiny side. Our transfers are reusable. They have a silk screen in them. They're similar to a stencil but different because they have a transfer silk screen inside the transfer. All right, so we are going to get started here, and I think that the easiest way to do this, I am sure that you could do it either way, but you need to look at it, what is your back layer? So I think that the body needs to go over the legs. So I'm going to start with, this is my back layer. There are registration marks here. I'm going to try to use those and see if I can line those up so that we get the body lined up completely, because it's going to match differently than other things that we generally use. It's going to be difficult to see exactly where that needs to be. So I will use my registration marks. Same with his little beak. I will use the registration marks there also. So this is simply a chalkboard. I believe this one probably was purchased at Walmart or at Michael's, and you could paint this. You could just get acrylic paint and paint it. It would be cute to do it a bright color. You could actually use your chalk paste if you thin this down. You could use that and you could paint it, but I generally just use acrylic paint. It's more fluid and it's easier to deal with. It needs to be waxed because it is a non-Chalk Couture surface. So you're going to take your little rag and you are just going to wipe a little bit of wax on there. You're going to spread it around. You're going to wipe off as much as you can. And then you're going to take a paper towel and you're going to wipe off even more. You only want just a little tiny layer in there, so that it's between your transfer and your surface. Put your lid back on the chalk paste. I'm going to move that to the side. I have a water bath here ready for when we're done with the transfer. We're going to put it in the water bath. I'm going to show you how to wash everything. I have already opened up my chalk paste and stirred them. These are our stir sticks. They come from Chalk Couture and they're just little plastic stir sticks. You can use whatever you have. You could even use a spoon if you had to. You could use little makeup stirrers. You don't want to use a wooden stick, like a popsicle stick, because the wood absorbs the moisture. If you only had that, it wouldn't hurt to use that a few times, but plastic or metal would be much better. So you're going to stir it. You want these to be the consistency of sour cream or yogurt. If they are too thick, you're going to simply spritz a little bit of water into it and then continue to stir it and get it to the right consistency. It's okay if there's a few lumps in there, don't worry, because when you use your squeegee and press it through the silk screen, it's going to press those little lumps out. So you're just going to stir each of your chalk paste, make sure they're all ready. We have all of our colors here. This is our Couture Coral. And this seemed more like the color of a flamingo to me. You know how flamingos are that bright color from eating shrimp. And then parakeet. I wanted some bright colors on here. This one is lemon yellow. Let me look, make sure. Yes. This one is lemon yellow. It actually is a retired color. You could use bumblebee, but I thought this was brighter. This is wild berry. So I have all my chalk paste ready to go. I have my transfers ready. I've waxed my board, and because this is a brand new transfer, you are going to, it's just got a little bit of the chalk paste on it. It's not going to matter. You are going to fuzz this. So fuzzing is simply taking the transfer off of the backer sheet, putting this onto either a towel or onto a microfiber towel, onto your t-shirt, just fuzzing it to get a little bit of the sticky off because it is brand new. So I'm going to put this down and I'm going to center it. It's a little bit longer than my area, so I'm just going to center it here, and I'm going to make sure there's room at the top for my registration marks, and make sure that there's room at the bottom for the feet. Trying to get this even. So then you're just going to press. You don't have to press this whole area. You simply need to have the area where the chalk paste is going to go through is what needs to be pressed down. I can feel that there's something under here. I'm going to lift this up, and there's something that came off of my towel that would have kept that from being flat. So you can feel through this. You can feel if there's air bubbles. Just press. And then here's my registration marks. So my colors for this are, I'm going to do wild berry, and then I'm going to do parakeet, and the legs are going to be yellow. And my registration marks, I'll just do them with the wild berry since that color is up there at the top. I'm going to use one of our mini squeegees. These have become my new favorite. They're so easy to use. They just make life a lot easier. The larger ones, sometimes they're just too big. So I'll use that for the body. But for the words, you don't need a large one. These little minis, they work great. So I have chalked my registration marks. I have chalked the words. I've put the excess back into the jar. Now I'll do the legs. I'm gonna do the leg with our multi-tool. I don't need very much, so I'm just going to get a little bit on there. I'm going to quickly spread that, put the excess back into my jar. You want to work this quickly so that it doesn't dry on your transfer. I'm going to put that to the side. I'm going to use this again for his beak. And the words I'm going to do down here, these words are going to be in parakeet. I'm going to use another little mini squeegee. I love these guys. And put the excess back in my jar. And then I'm going to pull my transfer. So I can barely see the registration marks up there, but I can see them. Okay, so our transfers, you do not want the chalk paste to dry inside the silkscreen area and on your transfer. So you're going to put it into a water bath. A water bath is simply a container that has water. So it's going to soak in there until we're ready to clean it. And I always have paper towels right by me, so I'm going to wipe my hands off, and then we're going to dry this. So if you did not have a hairdryer or you did not have a heat gun, you could simply walk away for 10 minutes and come back and it would be dry. So you want to continuously move your heat gun so that you don't bubble up your chalk paste. And this dries really quickly. You can see it changing color as it dries. And now I'm going to put it just on air so it can cool back down. You want your board to be room temperature. You do not want it to be hot when you put your next transfer down. Okay, so you're going to feel that. And it's just warm, it's not hot. So this is the next part. The body of the flamingo is going to go down. So we're going to fuzz this. I'm going to peel this from the backer. Set that to the side because we're going to put this back on it when we're done. Simply put this onto your towel. Since this is a second layer, I'm going to fuzz this more. I actually am going to fuzz this 5 times so that it doesn't peel up any of the chalk paste. So this is just something that I've been doing and it seems to work. Now I'm going to get this lined up. And it is not easy to see those registration marks through there. I suppose if I had a light, that would be easier. So I am lining up the feet and I'm lining up the registration marks as best as I can. So the body is going to be Couture Coral. This is our Couture Coral. That is as close to flamingo color as I have. I think that's a nice bright color. So I'm just going to spread some on there, and then I'm going to take my squeegee. This is our small squeegee. This is the one that they call the small squeegee. So this is in the catalog. We have the mini squeegees. We have the small squeegee. We have a 4-inch handled squeegee, and we have the multi-tool that has the little end on it that you can use for a squeegee. So those are the 4 that we have now. They have had others in the past. You will see people using other squeegees. I'm just going to remove the excess, and then I'm going to pull my transfer. And you just want to carefully pull this. And if there's an area, like I can see right here, that it did not go down all the way, just lay it back down. Go ahead and try it again, and then go ahead and pull. And if you think that it's too dry, then just take your finger and dip it into the water and you can kind of smooth that out. So I think maybe it's just that way. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I'm going to pull this, and this is starting to dry on here, so we're just going to go back down and we're just going to smooth that out. No big deal. Getting a little bit of moisture on there. So you have that chance when you're pulling it to go back over it. If you think that it doesn't look right, just lay the transfer back down. See, I feel like this area here does not have enough. I'm just going to add a little bit of chalk paste and just go over that again. This is your chance to do that. And it just is not going through right there. So I'm just going to take my finger and get a little bit of moisture. It's being stubborn. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so sometimes it just takes some patience, so take your time. And then this is going to go into the water bath. Make sure your other transfer is under the water so that these two don't get attached to each other. So you want this to be wet, and so there's water in between those two. You don't want those to stick together and be there permanently stuck together. So I'm going to dry my fingers. I did not use the registration marks. I was not able to see through there. I don't know if I need to use a different color, but I was not able to do that. So I'm just going to line this up the best I can. And first we're going to dry this. So you're continually moving your heat gun. And then I'm going to turn it to air. And it does dry that quickly. It dries really fast. Okay, so then you're going to feel it. You're going to make sure it's not too hot. You don't want to lay your transfer down onto a hot surface. So I'm going to take this transfer and I'm going to fuzz it. It's small. I'm simply going to stick it to my t-shirt. Don't have to use the towel. I'm going to do this 5 times so that it doesn't stick down and pull up my chalk paste from the previous layer. And then I am simply going to line this up, and I can see through here where this is supposed to be. So I am just lining this up with his face, and you just need to press down right around that area. You don't have to do the whole thing. Just press right here where this is going to be, and we're just going to have just a tiny bit of this yellow, lemon yellow for his beak. Just like that. I didn't put too much. I really don't have to squeegee off too much. And then I'm just going to pull this transfer. You're going to go side to side or top to bottom. And there we go. So there is our little project. I'm going to put this into the water bath. I'm going to show you how to wash these. I'm going to show you all the basics tonight. I'm going to put my tools to the side. I'm going to move my project so I don't get water on it. And we're just going to wash these. So this is what they suggest, that you put them into a water bath. Simply, a water bath is a container of water. You could have a cookie sheet, you could have a cake pan, a Tupperware, and you're going to swish them around, get the chalk paste off, and then put them onto your counter or a non-stick surface, and you're going to wipe. And then I wipe the top, I wipe underneath, I flip it over, and I wipe the other side with the Clorox wipe. Then this goes onto a paper towel and it will dry. When it's dry, it's going to go back onto my backer sheets. Remember these guys? It does not go back on this side because it has an X. It's going to go back on the shiny side. So when this is dry, I'm going to simply lay it down and put the pieces back on there. So I'm putting these to the side. I have paper towels on my counter behind me. So I'm going to do the next one, and I'm going to simply get as much of the chalk paste off into the water as I can, and then I'm going to lay my transfer onto the counter or a non-stick surface. This is a huge baking mat. I like this. I use this when we use hot glue, and we can press down on it and it does not stick. So this is what we use for crafting too. It works for this as well. So I'm just wiping the front, drying underneath, flipping it over, wiping the other side. I'm going to set this onto my paper towel. They take about 15 to 20 minutes to dry depending on where you live. It might be more humid, it might be hot, depends. So when it's dry, you're going to put it back onto the backer sheets. So you wipe the front, and then you wipe underneath, flip it over, teaching you the basics so that you know exactly what to do. If you take good care of these, they're going to last you a long time. It's got a little fuzzy stuck on it. It's not going to hurt it. I'm just trying to get the little fuzzy off. It's from the towel, but it's not going to hurt it. I'm going to leave it. All right, so this is going to go on to my paper towels that I have on the counter behind me. When those are dry, they will go back on the backer sheets and they'll go back into the plastic sleeve. I keep everything organized and put it right back how it was. So these guys now, these will go into my little water bath or my sink, and I'm gonna show you how to do this. So I know sometimes I don't show you everything. My goal is once a week to show you the basics of everything so that you know how to take good care of your chalk paste, how to take care of your transfers, exactly what to do on each project so that your transfers will last a long time and your chalk paste will last you a long time. You are simply going to scrape the edges put all of that back inside of the jar. So you want to do that. You want to scrape all those crusty things back into there, because they will break down again and you will have chalk paste again. You're going to spritz one little spritz of water in there. You're going to take a paper towel that is wet and you're going to wipe the edges. So if you do this, it will make your life so much easier, because you will not have a problem with your chalk paste sticking, the lid sticking. So you have a nice clean surface. I use lots of paper towels. Sorry guys, I must be killing lots of trees, but it takes a lot. I'm a messy crafter and I want to do this right. I want to teach you the right way. I don't want you to have problems. It's hard if these are stuck because you didn't clean it. They're really difficult to open. So then you're going to put the lids back on. It's very obvious what color is for what. Each one usually has a little bit of chalk paste on the top because these get tipped upside down when I'm transporting sometimes. So I'm just setting these to the side. Gonna clear my area here, getting all of my stuff cleaned up. These guys here, I'm just gonna put some paper towels out here. I usually have a bunch of paper towels. Let me put these in the trash. Okay, so this is all water soluble, which means it cleans up with you just rubbing your fingers on it. You do not need soap at all. Sometimes it'll stain. There's some stains on here from the ink. That's okay. It doesn't hurt the way that it works. You're simply going to just wash them off. So as I'm doing that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going on with Chalk Couture lately. So we are expanding into Canada, which is awesome. And we did receive news on Friday that there was a couple of things they want us to change. So we're working on that. And we are still on track to be able to open up late spring. And that was their initial goal, was late spring. I always hoped sooner. Everyone hopes sooner. They want to get their hands on this product. All of our girls in Canada are just chomping at the bit to get their kits, get out there, get their customers. But that's the latest update from corporate, is that there's a few changes that need to be made, but everything is looking good. They are still on track. There's no real concerns, so we're moving forward, which is awesome. All right, I think that's everything out of that. I will dump that out. So you can just dry them simply like that, and then they'll be ready for the next project. Easy as that, easy peasy. So that is what I do. And then I'll usually just spray my surface. It's an easy cleanup. It's water-based. So really easy to just get your area completely cleaned up. And here's our project once again. So with this project, what I will do is, it actually had jute on the back and it was made to hang sideways. So it would have hung this way, up and down. So I cut the jute off. I'm going to drill holes and then I will thread the jute through there. I will seal this, and let me grab that sealer. Usually have it right here, but I didn't. So this is what I like to seal my projects with. I use Rust-Oleum Ultra Cover Matte Clear. You can use Krylon, you can use another brand. This is what I like to use. I will let this dry. I usually let them dry overnight. I spray a bunch of them at a time, but let it dry for a couple of hours and then it's fine. Take it outside. Don't do this inside your house. Take it outside and spray it. Set your timer for 30 minutes. Come back, spray it again. set your timer for 30 minutes, and come back and spray it a third time. That makes it waterproof. If you're gonna sell this, you want it to be waterproof. If you're making it for yourself and you know that you're not gonna clean it with Windex or something, then you don't have to seal it. That's fine. But if you think that perhaps you are going to want to spray this to clean it, you're gonna want to seal it well. If you're gonna give it as a gift, you're gonna want to seal it, because you do not want someone to come in and say, hey, I'm gonna clean the dust off of this, and they spray it, and then all of this would start coming off, because this is water soluble. I could take my little spray bottle right here, I could spray this and I could wipe it and we could start over. So that's the great thing about Chalk Couture. If this didn't turn out the way you liked it, or you said, hey, you know, I really don't like the purple letters, I want something else, you could take Q-tips, wet Q-tips, and you could redo that part. It's that easy. So anyways, guys, if you are interested in Chalk Couture, leave me a message below. I'd be happy to send you a link so that you could either purchase some of our product or you can sign up. It's an awesome company. I love it. I have really enjoyed all of the transfers, all of the people. They're awesome. So anyways, thank you for joining me. Sorry it's so long. I like to show you the basics sometimes, and I think it's good for you to learn that. So bear with me. I'll only do that once or twice a week, but come back and watch more. I'm going to keep making these. I'm trying to do at least 1 or 2 a day so that you can learn. So have a good evening. Bye.